While doom scrolling on TikTok, I came across this user who is Jeff. He was doing a walkthrough on his Passport Traveler's notebook, and he said he was using it for the past 6 months. I don't know why this made something click in my brain. Maybe it was my frontal lobe developing, but I thought, I want to do this. So, as anyone with a sudden hyperfixation does, I hopped on the Traveler's website and YouTube and started researching more about the journal. Then I came across these YouTube videos, how this pocket notebook changed my life. I bought this notebook to unfuck my life. I thought to myself, could a glorified piece of paper and pen really change my life? Using my co-op money, I placed an order for my own notebook, and here it is. I won't do an in-depth tour, as this is not what this video is about, but let me know if you'd like to see one in the future. I gotta say, this notebook really changed my life. It made me a better person, it reduced my screen time. I'm just kidding, it hasn't made that much of a difference in my life. In fact, I actually try to double my screen time in order to compensate for those who try to reduce their screen time. A notebook isn't gonna magically solve all my issues, but it might. I started carrying it around everywhere. I actually didn't write much at all. I drew and sketched in my notebook, specifically urban sketching. As a student in Boston, architecture was something I wasn't really interested in. But after the art of noticing, Boston's architecture is really something. Now, I'm not an artist, but I really do enjoy drawing in this notebook. When I'm out and about, I really enjoy looking at urban architecture and looking at the buildings and taking photos so I could draw them later in this notebook. I actually think my drawings still need a lot of improvement, but it's very nice to have something to do when I'm out and about. For example, I would just stop in the middle of the street and be like, wow, that's a really cool building, take a picture of it and save it to draw for later. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Isn't this just another hobby or another hyperfixation that you'll drop in a couple weeks? And yes, I do want to say, getting a traveler's notebook is a lot of money, and it's not something that we should be dropping on just because of a TikTok. Which is why I have to admit something. I've already been journaling for the past 7 months prior to getting this notebook. And yes, I know this is a video about journaling for a week, but come on guys, are we really going to drop this much money on a notebook that we can pick up from like the 99-cent store just because of a TikTok I saw? Partially yes, partially no. But I do want to say that I have been journaling for the past 7 months, and I want to share my journaling life hack, journaling secrets that I have in order for me to use this on a daily basis, or at least as close as a daily basis as I can get to. So let's just do a little, well, not journal tour, because I would like to do a journal tour maybe in the future. New video idea. If you leave it in the comments, I will do it. But just a brief overview of how I use my journal. Here it is. So I actually use 2 notebooks in this journal. So this is the first notebook. I have a sticker on it. And this is my, I guess, diary, essentially, as I guess you would call it. And what I do in here is I just write a couple sentences about what happened during my day, every day. And since I got this recently, I've only been doing it for, I would say, a couple months. And this really helps me remember like what actually happened throughout maybe like a week, a past month. And it's really nice to see that. So let's just do a flip through. So here, these are just some diary entries, I guess. And each box is just a day. This notebook actually comes undated, so I just have to date them myself. But here's a blank spread. So you have Monday, I guess, because the week starts on Monday and it ends on Sunday. So every day, a couple sentences. And then I like writing in this little box here because it's not really dated. There's nothing here. I like writing weekly thoughts here and just highlights about my week, what I really liked during that week, what I didn't like during that week. And it's really nice just to flip through and just reflect because I have been writing quite a bit in all of these. And it is really nice. And then I wanted to talk about my second part of my journal, which is my drawing journal. as you would call it. I'm not really that good at drawing. This is when I first started drawing. I just like drawing like architecture and buildings of things that I saw, and they're alright. I'm a bit of a self-critic, but they are alright. They're not there yet. And then I recently got Ohuhu markers, and not sponsored, by the way, and I started coloring, but coloring is a little difficult with alcohol markers, so if anyone has any tips, please let me know in the comments below. But here is a drawing with some colors, just some basic colors, just what I see of the buildings. I actually really do like this coloring and drawing that I did recently. I would really like this one. But essentially, this is how I use my notebook. I go around outside and I take photos of buildings that I see, and I draw them in my notebook. And then every day I write a couple sentences on what I did. And what I used to do before I got the traveler's notebook is I would just write one sentence. And that's how I started being very consistent, because one sentence is not something hard to do. And if you do forget to do a couple days of like entries, then you can just go through your phone, look at photos, and then you can just remember what you did the past couple of days, and you can write them down. And it's really nice just to flip back and see. Again, I don't think everyone needs a traveler's notebook. You can start how I started. I used a Lectrum, but you can start with literally any notebook. I'm pretty sure many of you have notebooks that are probably used but just unfinished, and I feel like you should try out this method. If it's not a paragraph, just write one sentence a day about what you did, and you'll be very happy in about a couple months when you can just flip back and see all the progress that you made. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.